It has been a weekend of largely peaceful, even celebratory gatherings in a city still in tumult over the case of Freddie Gray, the black man who died after being in police custody. Beneath the calm, so many questions, though. Will the charges against the 6 officers stick? And if not, will there be more unrest down the road? Here's ABC's Jim Avila.
A new round of arrests in Baltimore. Protesters defying a 5th night of citywide curfew, pepper sprayed by police. But largely Saturday, Baltimore taking on a striking new tone.
People are really coming together in amazing ways.
Hundreds of peaceful protesters marched towards the Civic Plaza in front of City Hall.
We will fight for Freddie Gray.
Many of them advocating peace.
It was like celebratory because I guess they finally seen some justice.
In a briefing overnight, the police commissioner saying it's in the hands of the state's attorney.
We'll have the confidence that the truth will come out and the truth will overcome.
These are the officers charged in the death of Freddie Gray, the driver of this police van. 45-year-old Caesar Goodson Jr. faces the most serious charge of murder with a potential 30-year sentence. He's been a Baltimore cop for 16 years. Officers Garrett Miller and Edward Nero, both in their 20s, and Lieutenant Brian Rice, a 17-year veteran, all seen here carrying Gray to that van. Each faced several charges as well. Officer William Porter and Sergeant Alicia White, who was just promoted, faced charges of involuntary manslaughter, among others, and are both accused of not giving Gray medical attention. The police commissioner saying he is letting the process take its course, but warning,
we have no tolerance for any misconduct that takes place in this organization.
authorities are waiting to make sure that the city is safe and secure before they lift the curfew, and until then, the National Guard will remain here. Dan.
Jim Avila, who's been on this story from the very beginning. Jim, thank you. For more on this, let's bring in ABC News chief anchor George Stephanopoulos, who will be hosting This Week later this morning. George, good morning.
Hey, Dan.
We've seen a series of these cases now, as you know. Is there any possibility that it will lead to actual policy change?
Well, that's the big question right now. You've already seen the federal government get involved and put in more money for body cameras all across the country. Some police forces accepting that. I think one of the things you're going to be looking at, though, all these cities, do they have to step back from this broken windows policing policy, which really relies on, picking up a lot of people out on the streets for relatively minor infractions? People call that a corruption of that policing strategy. Will there be more of a pullback, more of an emphasis on dialogue?
So much tension between the police and the communities in so many parts of this country. I want to switch gears, though, to Bridgegate. Let's talk about Chris Christie. 2 of his top aides indicted, another one pleading guilty in Bridgegate. 2 headlines from this morning I want to show you. From the New York Times, Christie's camp mobilizes to salvage White House hopes. And from Politico, Jeb's secret Jersey mission. The Bush campaign goes behind enemy lines to pick off Chris Christie's supporters. So how bad is this situation for
Good news,
Christie?
bad news for Chris Christie. The prosecutors found no evidence that he ordered the closings, no evidence that he even knew about them, although the lawyer to David Wildenstein, the person who pled guilty, says that there is some evidence out there. But that's the good news so far for Chris Christie. The bad news is ever since this story broke, his poll ratings in New Jersey, across the country, have just plummeted. His fundraising has dried up. That's why Jeb Bush is going in and poaching his big donors in New Jersey. But I spoke with Christie's team on Friday. They're going full speed ahead. They say they're still in this race. They still want to be in this race. He's going back up to New Hampshire. But it's a very, very, very uphill fight.
Full speed ahead for now. George, thank you. And a reminder, George has a big show this morning. He'll have much more on Bridgegate and the situation in Baltimore later on this week. And George wants to know what questions you might have. You can tweet him at @GStephanopoulos with your suggestions. Thanks again, George.